How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Khahid, episode 8. As I promised in the last episode, we would make another episode. Yeah, that's pretty cool. In this one, we're gonna expand and decorate the area surrounding the SuperTower, the tallest building in the city that was placed down in episode 7. And of course, the whole project is gonna be based off of Dubai's Burj Khalifa and its surrounding areas, including the park, the really cool fountains that there are there, right by the tower, and the two main sub buildings that act as, one of them is a resort, the small one, and the bigger one, I've got no idea, but it's there, so I'm gonna place it anyways. And in the next episode, we're gonna place a third building that's gonna be a lot cooler than the one to the right of you right now. Of the screen. Yeah, there we go. But before we continue, where you're seeing this triangular building right now, this is where the park is gonna be. I'm not gonna use this building over there, and that's because I wanted to make a much bigger park than the one in the Burj Khalifa area. And right here you can see me placing down the little paths that are gonna sit right between the fountains. Actually, they're not even fountains. They're elevated pools, I think. The only fountains we're gonna have in this part of the city are the fountains in the middle of the pond. The Dubai fountain things that look pretty cool. The parking here is gonna be much bigger than the one in real life, as I said, and that's because I wanted to give the facilities a much wider space and enable the visitors to have a bigger place to hang around, go for walks and everything. And also, I'm trying to make this as tropical as possible. I don't want just the carved trees and whatnot. I do include some carved trees later on. You're gonna see some boxwood bushes and everything, but I also wanted to include a lot of coconut trees full of bushes and basically jungle foliage right next to the building, like this small building, and then the building right next to it, which is gonna be the Burj Khalifa, the SuperTower. I'm sorry, I'm still getting used to it. I should stop calling it Burj Khalifa. But yeah, that's the name I went for. We're gonna call this the SuperTower. I think it makes sense. It sounds cool. Sounds badass. It's a super tower. It's 840 meters long, I think, if I'm not mistaken. A little bigger than, a little taller than the Burj Khalifa. But yeah, that's just about it for the for this whole circle that we made. Now let's talk about what I'm doing on screen. So this area is gonna be, it's gonna consist of grass patches and elevated ponds. I'm gonna go really light on the trees on these ones. I don't really want to overdo it. Apart from some specific areas where I'm gonna go absolutely bananas with the trees, I'm gonna place like a million trees over there. But in these ones, I'm just gonna place down lots of lawn tufts. Those grass props that you're seeing right now, they're actually trees, but they look like props. They're really small. They do the job. They look really cool. They're not really FPS heavy. So moving on, that building, that wall with what happened to my voice? That little thing that you're watching right now, that window wall, I don't know how to call it, is part of an office wall, and I'm editing it so that I can form my own building. And that's gonna be the small outdoor pool. It's not gonna be an infinity pool, cause I had no way to get another floor up, so that the pool would make sense to be there, so that there's depth in it. But we're gonna make this just like the one in Dubai. The Khalifa Resort actually features an outdoor pool, but with really cool windows that act like fences. I didn't really get those, there was no such thing in the workshop, so I just used some glass props by King Leno that worked absolutely great, and I just plopped them on to the edges, and it looked pretty cool and pretty modern, by the way. For the pool, I used a really simple technique, the one you always see me doing, using in my series. I just plop a few wall props, just get a PO or some ploppable asphalt down for the bottom of the pool, and then just using decals to paint the bottom blue. Also painting the props blue, the walls. Nothing too unusual over here. The only thing that's gonna be a little cool, a little out of the ordinary, is the this whole thing is gonna feature a small building over to the top, to the right of the prop line over there. That's gonna have a balcony that goes in the middle of the pool, as it goes right on top of the pool, and you're gonna see it in just a bit. There we go. That's the only way to get up to the roof. I wanted to include some stairs, but I thought it was going to be tiring, so just just placing a small office building. I should stop saying office building because this is a resort. It's not a working place. So let's just say a rectangular building. I just placed that thing over there, and just call it a day. No need to make any stairs. Now I'm placing one by one the glass props because I was really tired of the purple line tool, because that was not a constant curve. That left part was really tricky, but I got there eventually. I used some procedural objects, as you can see over here, to tweak the edges of the glass props a little bit. Now I deleted all those decals, by the way, on the roof because they were really blocky. I didn't they were actually kind of pink. I wanted to include some white decals on this part over here, and we're gonna go a little old school on this. We're just gonna have the good old paving decals. But there we go. That's the bottom that I'm painting blue, and just extending it using procedural objects. That's actually not that's not a decal. That's a procedural objects texture that you can plop onto that rectangular thing that you saw that says texture not loaded. That's actually pretty useful. You can do whatever you want with pavings and whatnot. Now we're moving on to the balcony. We're starting out by placing down this curve, even though it's going to be erased afterwards, but not erased, but it's not going to be much visible after we're done with the balcony. I wanted to get this to look like a dining place, and I'm going to place chairs, palm tree planters, and whatnot to make it look really nice and cozy. And I'm gonna place that streamlined tint on top of it, so that it can provide just a bit of shadow to the visitors. But it's mainly gonna be used at night, and that's because in Dubai, in real life, you can barely stay outside for more than 1 minute and not getting and not roasting to death, because it gets really hot there. But yeah, that's a pretty cool place. It goes right over the pool. It goes almost in the middle of the pool, and the pillar is actually going to be really nice. It's going to have some flowers around it, and overall this is going to be a really nice spot to hang around with your family or your loved ones. Have dinner, watch the incredible views of the fountains and the creek. And oh yeah, we're gonna build a creek, by the way, for sure. But yeah, anyway, that's besides the point. I used the same wall props that I used in the what was it, episode 6 with the resort that had this mini mall inside it. That's another thing I really love about Dubai. Everywhere you go, there's gonna be a mall somewhere, a retail, and overall, it's just way too many choices. It's Dubai. It has everything. I don't know why, but it's the way things are. By the way, that's the pillar over here. I'm tweaking these this little planter over here to make it a little more, massive. And then I'm going to place it right in the middle of the pool and place some flowers inside it so that it looks pretty cool. There we go. And that's the streamlined tent. It's actually really big. It's not just a small tent. It's more of a, contemporary structure that provides shadow to, whoever's under it. But yeah, it looks pretty cool, and I'm gonna include another one just a little later. I think this one looks like a parking shelter. I think it's a parking shelter, but we'll see. And now you can see the pretty cool wood decals that make everything look a little more lavish, a little more luxurious. Even though these ones, the way they are right now, they look a little Hawaiian, kind of, beach vibes, but toning them down a bit using the prop painter mod, just go back to their place, and they look insane. Now that's a door, and there we go. Starting now, starting with the tables and the chairs. I used these by Vladilex. This guy, he doesn't make incredible textures, but I don't know how he does it, but the assets that he puts out on the workshop are just, they're flawless. I don't know how, but anyway. Now we're just continuing decorating the area, putting down some planters. It already looks pretty cool. And now the water props are going to step in and save the day. And now we're going to use some corridors. That's pretty cool. And of course, my favorite, tree time, where we get to change this dull-looking building into a vibrant resort full of, decorations and tables and planters and, all sorts of eye candy. Nice little addition over here. I used the Dubai Opera prop. I don't know what this is. That's probably the gift shop. That's the other streamline that I was talking about that will function as a parking shelter later on when we build parking spaces, especially for the airport. Yeah, the airport is gonna be full of those. And yeah, that building right there to the left, that Dubai Opera gift shop, looks very, very damn cool, and it adds up a little bit to the whole, image of the building. There's no entrance to it. You just have to get inside from the roof. There's no passage that gets you, to the lower levels, to the lower stories. I think I could change that, but I think it's a lot of work for something that it's rarely going to be seen. So anyway, now we're going to copy and paste this little thing over here and fill this place with trees. I'm not gonna go easy on the palm trees as well. Yeah, don't be mistaken right now. You're gonna see a lot of palm trees in this on this building. But now you're gonna hear from me after the break. See you in a bit. Alright, quite a long break, right? Now on the screen, you can see me doing some weird stuff with the clipping network. It's gonna make sense, because I'm making this little ditch over here, and it looks really nice. I saw it once in all these resorts that I was looking at on Google Maps. They always tend to have like small ditches that, you know, small miniature rivers that look really well, and they add a lot to the whole luxury thing. Building this was no hard task at all. Just the normal technique that I use. Just place down some decals, make sure they don't appear on the networks, cover them up, fill the place with pluggable pavement or asphalt to get some, you know, get the bottom right, and then just fill it with trees or decorations to make it look cool. Pluggable grass simply did the job in here because I filled the edges with bushes in this particular spot, and that looked really good. I added some plant trees, as you can see in a few seconds. And now we are getting to the fun part, where the second fun part. That's because we're gonna build the park, and the park is really nice, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. We're gonna start by placing, after we're done building this little ditch over here, we're gonna place some stairs that are parallel to the ditch over there, and then we're gonna raise the ground just a bit. I'm gonna do a few tricks, and after we plop down the water props. But anyway, I'm gonna place down a parallel stair road to the ditch, and then we're gonna raise the ground up, and that's gonna help with, you know, making this less dull and less boring. There we go. That's the stair road. That's gonna raise the ground up. Actually, it's not gonna raise the ground up. We're gonna raise the ground up right next to it so that it looks okay, and then we're gonna put some really nice grass props that I found, grass platforms in the that I found in the workshop. Right here, the terraforming networks really help because working out with terrain in this game is a little tedious. So thank God these were here, and these are some planners for me to get started with the stairs, and, you know, another pack of stairs right next to it on the other side. This specific area over here, I didn't really want to add any decals onto this little pavement structure that I added over here, this pluggable pavement. And that's mainly because it's right next to the stairs. I didn't want anything too fancy on it. This whole area is going to be packed with trees and bushes, so what difference does it make, really? But there we go. Now we're adding the grass props. I'm going to change their colors a little bit just so that it matches the color of the grass on the ground. And then I'm going to use the slopes. These slopes over here are amazing. They play a major role when it comes to, you know, making this look convincing, and, you know, not that it was just raised up in the air. I'm gonna cover this little space over here with bushes so that, you know, it doesn't look jagged. And then the slope is gonna be filled with, is gonna have some palm trees on it. Now we just got the grass a little darker so that the slopes actually match the color of the platforms. And then I just plop down a bunch of bushes and clusters of trees, green clusters. That's how they're called in the game, in the workshop. And after that, we're just gonna cover the empty spaces with bushes or platforms, green platforms. Now I'm using these Monaco fences to, you know, just play with the terrain a little bit, make some terrain differences, because, well, in general, Dubai is is a perfectly flat area, and the Dubai park is actually a little elevated and has some bumps and, you know, uphills and downhills. So I wanted to include that because that looks really cool. It looks well maintained, and it has a lot of things to. It has much more things than a straight line, than a straight patch of land that's filled with trees, and that's what I wanted to convey in this one. In this part over here, right next to the white palm tree, we're gonna have a gazebo. I think that it's pronounced gazebo. It's a really nice little temple-looking like building that I don't know what they're for, but they look really nice. They look really cute, and you know, I'm just happy that I found one. That's a Russian asset, by the way, and that fits the setting a lot. I don't know why, but I really like this asset. You're gonna see it in just a bit. Here we are going overboard with these bushes. This is really tree heavy, but since my computer can handle it, that's totally fine. And then some trees to cover up the left, you know, the all of the left space that we got. For a second there, you saw me just trying down a magnolia. I think it's called magnolia. That little pink tree that looks really cool. We're not gonna have this here, but we're gonna have gardens dedicated to colorful trees and props and plants and flowers. There's the gazebo over here. That was actually a ploppable version, and I had to place it roadside before I placed it anywhere else. Lucky for us, we had this on ground level, and I didn't have to raise anything else with it. And you know, that was easy. Now we're surrounding it with a really nice decal circle, and then some bushes, and then around these bushes just adding a bunch of palm trees that look really nice, and then just doing what we do best, just filling the place with bushes and clusters. That particular area was a little tricky, but I actually managed to pull this off at the end, and after all, it looked pretty cool. And then I'm gonna get right into the tennis courts. I'm gonna fill the edges with fences so that the ball does not go away. Now this is something that I saw in Dubai as well. They're like right next to this ring road, this ring platform. I don't think it's a road, but it's more of a platform or a quay. Yeah, under, you know, right next to this quay, there's the normal path from, you know, the building. And then there's gonna be a slope that's also parallel to these roads, and that's how we're gonna make the transition between the elevated level of the grass and the clusters right down to the you know, normal sea level. Not sea level, down to the level of the building and the ring roads and everything. There we go. Now we're building the slope. Lucky for us, it didn't get inverted, and you know, we would have lots of trouble with that. I didn't know where to stop, so I built like a much bigger slope, you know, network, and then, you know, if I want to cut it, then I can just erase it. It's better to have more than have less in general. That's the back entrance to the tennis courts, and then I'm gonna include another entrance in front of it that's right in front of the ditch. And then over here, that's the most tropical you know, place over here. It has tons of palm trees, lots of bushes, yeah, a beautiful view of the you know, future fountains. That's gonna happen soon, and I'm really excited for it. Actually, not soon, because I talked about the, you know, the plans of. Actually, I didn't. That was in another recording. So I'm gonna talk about how we're gonna let's just say expand this whole area really quick before we get into the cinematics. So what's gonna happen is we're gonna start expanding clockwise around the downtown area, and we've almost finished the Burj Khalifa. Oh my god, the SuperTower. I'm sorry. I need to work on this. So we're finished with the SuperTower almost. I've got one more episode where we're gonna completely you know, finish with the whole circular area around the SuperTower, and after that we're gonna move counterclockwise towards the mall. If you guys have an idea of how the Dubai downtown is I'm gonna include a photo right here so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. We're gonna move towards the mall. We're gonna build the mall. That's gonna take about 3 or 4 episodes because this is huge. The mall is huge, and it's gonna have like a ton of different entrances and parking lots and whatnot. So yeah, it's gonna take a lot. It's gonna take a long time. Then we're gonna move down to the down and west or left, if you'd like, down to the Souk Al Bahar residences, which looks really, really cool. And I really want to make something with these. And I actually found a way to make some really nice Arabian arches, and because these were not available in the workshop, so I did like a really nice workaround with a procedural object that was an already made arch. I just tweaked it a little bit and it looks like an Arabian arch right now. But then we're gonna move towards the other normal buildings around on the west side of the downtown, and then the last thing we're gonna do is build the fountains. I'm not gonna promise about the fountains being placed last, because I need to have a reference of where things are gonna be placed. So this might change, but yeah, for sure we're gonna go counterclockwise, build all the buildings around the ring road that I laid down, and we're gonna see it from there. So now we're tackling the last spot for today's episode, and this is the really nice idea I had with the boxwood trees and bushes and everything. These are really, really nice. They look really cool, and just tossing them around the place just makes the whole build a little nicer. That's a little that little star-like building. I don't know what it is. I don't even know what it would be in here. Maybe like a really nice conference center, or an underground. I don't know. I really don't know. An underground entrance. I really don't know, but it looks really cool. It fits the setting. The fountains look really nice as well. I forgot to mention that, because we've got not the fountains, the elevated ponds, and of course what I promised, the night shots, because last episode didn't really have any light shots, and I was really, really sad to not be able to record things. But with the state of the save game, I was not taking chances. I just wanted an episode out and to see if it would work. But yeah, now that we're here, we are on the end of the episode, and now the cinematics are gonna kick in, which look absolutely amazing as always. There we go. So that's all for me, and until the next time, take care.